Hi, I'm Esko. Today we are going to talk about my trip around Frankfurt, which I do every Saturday if the weather is nice. And by nice I mean it's not raining or anything like that, like snow. So I do a round trip around Frankfurt every Saturday and visit a few of the flea markets around here. Today we are going to talk about what I did find today when I was visiting. I actually visited two places, and to keep this cycling related we are going to talk a little bit about the foundation for this cycling. So let me bring you a little bit closer so that we can look about the items I found today. And yes, you are going to see my hairy hands instead of my hairy face. So, here we go. The first item I found has nothing to do with machine. It's a compass. Well, it was really cheap and actually it's quite a good one. I like to wander in forests, and actually I have a way better compass than this one. I don't like to use my GPS. I do have a GPS navigator, but in forest it's something not so good. A real paper map with a compass like this, and you are all good. If you can use this, doesn't need any batteries, and it will actually have some scales on it, and you learn how to read maps. Well, this is not for myself. This is for my colleague in the work, and he seems always to be a little bit of lost. So this €1 investigation for him. Let's see how he deals with that one. Then I do have a grandson, and this grandson is really interested on autos. He's 4 years old and he likes to play with autos. His father didn't actually encourage him into this. He just, I suppose it's in the genes of every boy, and they like to play with autos. And now, since he likes very much of formulas, so I thought that okay, the autos are one part of the deal, and another part of the deal is actually hospital. So this is actually a Krankenzimmer, so sick room, and well, it's a hospital room. It's a full set. You can build your own hospital room with all the necessary things like the night tray, all the plants, the vegetation you need in your hospital room, and of course you have the beds. Actually it contains two of these, and they even have if you are having fever and so on. So yes, And yes, this is a very old thing. This is made from wood. It's not plastic. No, oh yeah, these are plastic, and maybe the wheels are plastic. But other than that, it's really, it's a wooden toy, and I assume it is more pleasant to play with this one than with the wooden ones. Let's see. Well, it's partly a joke, but it's also something that I would like to emphasize in whenever you are in traffic and you are doing this could be a consequence of not obeying the rules and not being careful, etc. So yes, this is one thing, and I will donate it to this little man. Okay. And then something else. I have another. This time it's a granddaughter. She's 10 years old and likes to do a lot of things with her hands. And therefore, when I saw this one, I really thought, okay, this is probably a little bit out of her range, but it might give her some ideas about things. And I found a tiny little, this is not too big, this is really suitable for small hands. Of course it's metric, micrometer, and it doesn't say who is the manufacturer. I assume it might be DDR, Eastern Germany, because this is really old, and it's definitely not Chinese. I can tell. It's very, very well made, and it has a working ratchet. And after some tweaking, I got it also zeroed. It's calibrated and works like a dream. Every time it goes where it is supposed to go. Well, of course, no thermal isolation, so you don't do any very accurate things with this one. But I think it's good for at least 1/100th of a millimeter. Meaning half a tau in imperial measurements. So this was one item I found there, and probably she will be pleased to use it. And since it's a little bit rusty, I'm not going to clean this. I'm not going to do anything for it. I leave it as it is, because then it's a sign that you don't really need to be really very, very, very careful with this one. But on the other hand, I will tell her that it is not a hammer. So, and maybe we learn how to use it. It's very easy to read. I think I have some Chinese micrometers which are measuring the same range. This is 0 to 25 millimeters. They are double as big as this one, and they are really hard to read sometimes, especially when you are screwing it. You don't know whether it was the half millimeter or the whole millimeter. But this one is really nice. It's really sharp, and it's easy to read. And it's old. So, yeah, the next item, and this is for one of my grandsons. This one is not the same with who is going to receive this. He's a little bit of drawing and so on, so this 50, yes, the price of this one was actually 15 euros. so not too bad. So and this one actually is a set of yeah, you could use these as as temperature sticks. Well, they are only suitable for a known temperature, one temperature, every one of these, and I don't know what is the temperature. But you can also draw with them. It contains all the colors, etc. And actually I have been using this kind of crayons when I cut some steel bar, because the accuracy is really suitable for that. When I mark with the white crayon, my mark into the steel, yeah, and my angle grinder, it will be very. It doesn't be more accurate than that, and you can see the line there. If you draw it with well, like pencil, it will disappear, and you cannot see it if you're protecting equipment, like your glasses are a little bit hazy. It's very hard to see, but these white broad markings are easy to see. Okay, but he will be really pleased to have this, I know for sure. And these are non-toxic and easy to you can actually if you can German, you can read that they are washable. You can if he now wants to do some graffiti on walls, they can be washed away. Well, the next thing, I was talking with a guy who actually had a lot of knives, and I immediately noticed there was this Martini knife. It's a Finnish knife maker, very good quality, and they are not made of stainless steel, they are carbon steel knives. So they rust. You have to keep them a little bit protected so they won't rust. And this guy didn't know that, and he was pleased to. I told him, please put some oil maybe on them if you want to display the blades, etc., so that they don't start rusting. And then he was of course a little bit interested about Finland, etc. And this is always the case when I go to flea market. Everybody. This thing, which is actually a grinding stone, this is brand new. It's two-sided and it's suitable for knives. But I assume it could be probably used for finishing some high-speed steel what are these things? High-speed steel lathe tools. You could probably finish and grind them with this one, maybe. Because this side is aluminium oxide. It should be suitable for that. Well, time will tell. Well, anyway, this was 13 euros. Not a bad price. It's brand new, never used. Yeah, let's see what where it goes. Then I met on the other flea market. I finally met my favorite seller. He's selling inserts, those carbide and all sorts of inserts. So today I was actually just browsing his boxes, and what I found first was this. Oh, I don't know what these are. These are probably carbide, yes, they are heavy, and they have no whatsoever markings. they have quite a sharp rake here, and well, they have only two valid edges, so I probably have to make a holder for these. I don't have a holder for this kind of inserts, but they had an interesting shape and easy enough for me to make the holder. So they are probably, I suppose, I don't really know, I'm not an expert on these ones, but I suppose that when you see the side, it's not straight. So basically this means that these should be held horizontally on the work. So they are not to be tilted in any way. So this makes the holder, making the holder quite easy, actually. I believe so. Yeah. And there are 10 of them. And the price was, yeah. In this case, it was, wait a minute, I have forgotten the price. The next one, I just looked for inserts for my, I'm going to do a boring job with the milling machine variator. The variator has a bronze bearing which has been shot, and this has to be bored through, and the material is bronze. And so I saw these and I thought, okay, this doesn't have any zip breakers, it doesn't have this very aggressive rake, so probably this doesn't bite into the bronze. And furthermore, I have 2 weeks ago I actually bought a boring bar. I don't have a holder for this boring bar, but well, I can always make one. And in this case I don't want to put this boring bar into a holder, into the compound. I will put it directly on the cross slide. So this is actually a boring bar. This doesn't sew it. It should sew it. No, it shouldn't. Where is, there. Yeah, my little tool. So actually this one has, this is a left-sided boring bar, but actually it doesn't matter, because what I noticed about these, they have a marking, the box markings are all gone, they are really unreadable, maybe you could read those, but on the side of this you can read B20. Hopefully you can see that. You can read the B20. And since this is an NTK insert, I searched the internet, and what I found is that this is actually CBN insert. It has only one working corner. If you look carefully, hopefully you can see, it's this corner. There is the little bit of cubic boron nitride. And this is really amazing. I searched the internet and I found out that these are intended for cast iron, finishing cast iron, and yes, they probably work with the bronze as well. I have no doubt about that. And furthermore, they are suitable. They fit perfectly with this left-hand boring bar. And this way I can use them. Well, it's left-handed, but I don't mind. It's left-handed. You just then maybe I have to get a right-handed boring bar then. But it works, I know. You just roll the thing the other direction. So these actually proved to be better than I expected. This is really hard. It's next to diamond, and yeah, you cannot. If you destroy one, these only have one working edge on each insert. So if you destroy it, it's gone. You have to be somewhat careful with this. So the next batch, I bought 2 boxes of these, and first thought was that okay, one more insert with a very aggressive rake, and where can you use this? Okay, maybe I can. And then I was a little bit waiting. It's not so heavy. It's a little bit lighter than it's not. This is not actually carbide. And when I looked into the internet, what is this actually? This is cermet. These are intended for alloy steels, high carbon steel, tool steel, etc. And they have a very nice edge. Hopefully you can see that. They have a very nice edge, and they also suit for my left hand boring bar. So yeah, and these are T15, which is actually this identification that it is cermet, not carbide. So you probably cannot brace this or anything. You have to use a holder for this. Now I bought 20, and all these costed me 50 euros. I don't know if it is too much or too little. So this was what I found today in the flea market. And well, the next thing what I will show you are the plans and my thoughts about the foundation for the milling machine, the Sauchlin SV51. So let me just change the view a little bit so that we can start drawing. So let us start with the planning for the foundation for the milling machine. Well, Sauchlin recommends to bolt this machine on the floor. There is a nice picture. I try to insert that picture here. My video editing skills are not that good, but I try to. So there is a picture which illustrates how this machine should be bolted on the ground, on the floor. Well, yeah, okay. I have my own ideas about this. So, first of all, our floor in the place where this machine is going to be installed, it's actually tilted, because there is a drain somewhere here, which is actually then there is an oil separation system, and then it goes to our sewage system. So the original intention is, here is a hatch on top of that. So the original intention was to be able to wash your car in this this place. Now I don't I have never had my car in that space, and probably I will keep this one. And here in this wall we have also a thing that is okay, water outlet here. So the same purpose, wash your car. But actually you can use that one for washing the floor. For example, if the coolant splashes around, etc., so you can actually wash it away. So that's a benefit of having this kind of water outlet in the room. But as I said, this floor is tilted, and you have to leave some space behind the machine, and then of course there has to be some room to walk around it. Well, I have enough space. But what you have to do, you have to make this floor somehow level. Well, this machine has it has 4 adjustable feet, whose range of adjustment is about 20 millimeters or 2 cents. I'm not sure if that is enough. This is pretty tilted. It's it's really tilted. So my intention is to put let's say it's a pedestal here, and have the machine sitting on top of that. And then there is a steel plate on top of that. This is all steel. Hopefully you can see that. And this thing here is concrete. Now, why do you need to bolt this kind of machine on your floor? The reason is the stability. Well, the machine is quite high. It's top heavy. So I suspect that if I put a heavy load, this is how it looks from the top. It looks something like this, and then you have the head here and etc. Now if you put here 100 kilograms, so it becomes a little bit unstable actually. Well, actually the machine allows, I think, something like 300 kilograms, no, 200 kilograms on top of this table. But I doubt I never ever, well, these are the famous last words. I doubt I never ever will need to do that. Hopefully not. So, in order to make it stable, it's not enough that you bolt it, the machine. This is the machine leg and another leg, and then the machine comes up, and well, however it looks like, and then you have the things here and some wheels here, and then you have the table and etc. It's not enough just to bolt it down to the steel plate. Actually you need, because actually concrete which I plan to put here, concrete doesn't compress. So if you make this of some specific concrete which doesn't shrink or expand, there are such concrete species or variants of concrete which really are intended to be used in situations like this. So it tolerates the weight of the machine on top of it really well. But if you don't somehow bolt the steel plate to the floor, you don't benefit anything having such a plate on top of a concrete. Oh yeah, of course it becomes level, but it doesn't make it any more stable. So For this reason, this is actually what we have in our building. I have checked this out. There is a concrete slab here, which is about 115 millimeters thick. And then there is an insulation layer. After that there is some sand. And then comes the earth. This is bedrock. So our building, this part of the building is standing directly on bedrock. So it's really stable. What I can do is that I bore something like 100 millimeters deep holes, which I then can there is stuff which is used to glue steel rods in concrete or rock, and this stuff is really tough. When you bore a hole like this and then you put your rod into there, it never ever comes out. It will stay there. So I don't need to bore the hole through this layer. This layer shouldn't be penetrated, because there are in addition of the insulation, there is a film that is actually it makes it watertight, so that the groundwater doesn't come up from here. So therefore you shouldn't go straight through, but leave some space under here so that you don't go through the film. So actually this is my plan. The plate should be a little bit bigger than the machine foot, so that I can bolt it for the first, that I can bolt it around here. If you look at from the top, machine is sitting like here. So then I have the 4 bolts around it, which are actually going through the concrete, and then it has bolts which you can screw into the steel plate. I need some nuts here under. These don't need to be welded very tight. These need to be welded there, but they don't, because the forces, it doesn't pull them down, they will be pulled up. The weld is there just to keep them in place. And when I do this concrete slab under here, I probably need to fill the threads, put some bolt in there with a lot of grease, so that the concrete doesn't penetrate the threads. Well, that's about it. I hope you comment something about my plans. If I have something really obvious which is wrong here, I would like to know about that. And thank you for watching, and please have fun and stay safe.